Okay, let's just dive right into this because things are moving at a breathtaking speed in the Middle East right now. The pieces on the global chessboard are shifting, and honestly, the countdown to a potential conflict, well, it may have already started. So it really kicks off with this pretty alarming report from CBS News. And look, this isn't some far off possibility we're talking about. This is imminent. We're hearing from military sources that the window for a potential strike could open in just a matter of days. That really sets an urgent, frankly, a pretty tense tone for everything else we're about to get into. I mean, what's really staggering here is just the sheer speed of this whole buildup. We're talking over 78 advanced fighter jets, plus all their support aircraft, surging into the region in less than 2 weeks. Come on, that's not some gradual reinforcement. That is a lightning-fast assembly of just, overwhelming air power. It's designed to send a message, and it's not a subtle one. And just to put that number into perspective for you, you got to go back more than 20 years to find anything like it. This is literally the largest American air surge into the Middle East since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Think about that for a second. Just that comparison alone tells you the stakes here. They could not be any higher. All right, so we're seeing this massive buildup. But here's the key. This force isn't just about size. It's about purpose. This isn't an army being put together for an occupation. No, this is more like a specialized toolkit for a very specific and, a potentially very destructive mission. And this comparison here really lays out the strategic shift perfectly. Think about it. Back in 2003 with Iraq, the goal was full-on regime change. That took over 1,000 aircraft to support a massive ground invasion. But today, the objective is totally different. It's laser-focused. It's about using a smaller, much more advanced force for surgical airstrikes, specifically to take out nuclear facilities. The mission is simple and clear. Get in, strike hard, and get out. Okay, so what exactly makes up this aerial armada? Let's unpack the incredible tech that's really at the tip of the spear here. Right, so this is not just a random collection of planes. You gotta think of it like a carefully selected team, where every single player has a critical job. You've got the F-22 Raptor for total air dominance. Its whole job is to own the sky. Then you have these super specialists, like the EA-18G Growler, which is all about electronic warfare, basically blinding the enemy. Every piece on this board is part of a much larger, highly coordinated plan. And these two right here, the stealth fighters, they're the ultimate one-two punch. The analogy they use is pretty great. The F-22, that's the bouncer. Its only job is to clear the air of any and all threats. Then, once the coast is clear, the F-35 comes in. It's the cat burglar. It slips in totally undetected, disables all the alarm systems, we're talking radar, air defenses, and basically unlocks the front door for the main strike force to come roaring through. So how does this all actually come together in a real-world scenario? Well, it turns out the military planners aren't just making this up as they go. They seem to be following a very specific, proven playbook, and it's one we actually saw in action less than a year ago. Okay, now this is where it gets really fascinating. Check out this timeline. During a previous operation called Midnight Hammer last year, there was this precise 4-day gap between when the F-22s were deployed and when the strikes actually began. Now, look at the current timeline. The F-22s deployed on February 17th. What's 4 days later? February 21st, the exact date that CBS News reported the military would be ready to go. That feels less like a coincidence and more like a very deliberate operational rhythm. So this breaks down the meticulous choreography of how a potential strike would actually work. It's basically a 3-step dance. Step 1, penetrate. The F-35s and the Growlers sneak in and jam or destroy Iran's radar and air defenses. Step 2, dominate. The F-22 Raptors come in and sweep the skies, taking out any opposition. And only then, once that path is totally clear, does Step 3 happen. Strike. That's when the F-15s and F-16s follow through to hit their targets. But, of course, Iran isn't just a passive spectator in all this. They absolutely know, they can't win a straight-up conventional air war against the US. So, what's their plan? Well, it's all based on something called asymmetric warfare. Basically, you don't try to match strength for strength. Instead, you find other, cleverer ways to inflict strategic pain. And this table really highlights that technological mismatch. The US has this huge edge with stealth and advanced electronic warfare. Iran, on the other hand, is relying on layered defenses. But here's the thing. Their goal isn't to win. It's to get a lucky shot.
It's to inflict just a few incredibly painful, incredibly costly losses on these super high-tech American assets.
And this right here is exactly why that strategy makes so much sense from their perspective. We're not just talking about losing a plane. Taking down a single F-35, that's an $80 million headline. Taking down a Raptor, that's a $143 million strategic and political disaster for the U.S. For Iran, just shooting down just one of these would be an absolutely monumental propaganda victory. But that brings us to Iran's real counterattack, the one that almost certainly wouldn't happen in the sky. No, it would happen here, in the global economy. Iran's true deterrent isn't a missile. It's its ability to just unleash chaos. We're talking activating proxy forces, attacking oil facilities, and threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz, which is a critical artery for the entire world's oil supply. Their whole strategy is to make the economic price of a war simply unbearable for everyone involved. So now, you have all this incredible military pressure colliding head-on with the world of diplomacy, and it's creating a really dangerous race against the clock. And this timeline, right here, it reveals the central tension of this entire crisis. Look, the U.S. military is ready to go, ready to strike on February 21st. But, and this is a big but, the diplomatic ultimatum that was given to Iran doesn't even expire until March 5th. So that creates this incredibly tense 2-week window where the military option is sitting there, cocked and loaded, while talks are supposedly still underway.
And this isn't happening in a vacuum. To make things even more complicated, there's immense pressure from allies like Israel to act fast. There's intel suggesting Iran might be moving nuclear material to a deep, bunker-proof facility. And just to top it all off, you've got Russian and Chinese warships conducting live drills with Iran right there in the Gulf of Oman. The potential for a catastrophic miscalculation here, it's just enormous.
So it all boils down to the one question that really matters most, right? Is this whole thing the world's most expensive and dangerous bluff, or is the decision to strike already a done deal? Well, as one source put it so well, the deployment really speaks for itself. You just don't move 78 fighters for a negotiating bluff. The sheer scale, the incredible speed, the massive cost of this whole operation, it all suggests this is far, far more than just a bluff. The preparation itself seems to be screaming the true intention. And so, that leaves us here. The fighters are on the tarmac, the plans are finalized, all the pieces are in place, waiting for a single command. And it feels like the only question left may not be if America will strike, but when.